get it, let's 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 get it. As one Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork which you will not get anywhere else. Whew. It's a lot. 10 miles today after I believe it was 2 straight days of 8 miles and then 6 miles yesterday, then a 10. So it was a little gas. Potentially could be doing a half marathon later on in the month. Recording this, by the way, it's early March, I believe it's March 5th. No, March 4th now, 2025, Tuesday, March 4th, 2025. As we do normally here, we got a top 5 Tuesday, and some political news. The politics is starting to come back in to the Move Swiftly world, you know. We're kind of out of football, officially out of football. Basketball is now in the process of heating up to kill the time, kill the time, or in the meantime, I won't say kill the time because time is actually the most valuable resource you have. So I ain't gonna say to kill the time, I would say in the meantime, productive usages of time, which is another thing that we talk about a lot here in the Move Swiftly world. There's politics, right? You guys heard, if you're heard it, assuming you heard me and my good friend Kimberly do react to Zelenskyy and Trump. I did a whole video about it. Tomorrow, I'll be endorsing Byron Donalds as the next governor of the state I currently reside, Florida. But for the top 5 Tuesday, because I am actually taking this into real consideration, the top 5 things I would do, top 5 moves, top 5 things I would lobby for if I personally was a politician. All right, like I said, there's some interest on my end to do something, because you gotta understand, with politics, it's really about public service. It's not about a job, it's not about money and anything like that. It's honestly about people wanting to serve the country, or serve a cause, serve their community. And that's what I'm all about. That's what the business model that I have, it's very philanthropic in its nature and its concepts and things like that. All right, so without further ado, and I'll be diving into the details of this in about an hour or so on the live stream. Just bear with me because, again, that 10-mile run, it did actually take a lot out of me, more than I actually considered it would, seeing that, it's a cooler day, so I probably jumped off a little too fast of a start past couple days, and it took a lot out of me. All right, so number one thing, top 5 things I would do if I was a politician. First and foremost, I would make youth sports a requirement. Yes, you heard me. Youth sports needs to be a requirement. I will leave that up to the families under what capacity and how heavily they want to serve in the youth sports world. But youth sports, it builds community. It gives people an opportunity to build confidence, especially if we're talking about young kids, something they believe in, something they could be a part of over the period of a couple of years, all right? So number one, first and foremost, I'm making youth sports a priority. Next thing I would do is I would make it so teachers, coaches, educators in general are all getting higher pay. All right, I would raise their minimum salary to a certain amount to where they're all getting paid very, very handsomely, as if they are the major CEO of a Fortune 500 company. All right, that's what I would do. So as an educator, myself and fellow educators, I know you're loving me right now with that one, right? Higher pay for teachers, higher pay for coaches, higher pay for people who spend their time, their hours, their day educating young minds and teaching them how to think logically, helping them develop as educators. So as much as you may love me as an educator right now, you're not gonna like number 3, because the hiring process towards becoming an educator, I will completely change it. And I will make it so you have to be an entrepreneur. I would put every single educator through the entrepreneurial vetting process. And I'm gonna dive into this a little later, but years ago I remember talking to a guy from Allstate, an Allstate agent, and I asked him how he got his position, and he goes, look, if you want to be an Allstate agent, they make sure you're an entrepreneur. They put you through questions, and there's a process in which makes it so you're an entrepreneur. So yes, I want higher pay for teachers. However, in the same breath, at the same time, I'm gonna make sure that these educators are actually entrepreneurs and are actually worth it. All right. So again, the current educators that like me, the majority of you guys that like me for number 2, you're not gonna like me on number 3, because a lot of y'all will be out of it and go on and do something else, because you should not be teaching, you should not be in education, should not even be around young people. All right, but I'll leave that for later on later on in the live stream. Number 4A and 4B. I snuck 2 in here. All right, 4A is I will make STEM a curriculum, STEM curriculum a requirement. The same way I would make youth sports a requirement, make STEM curriculum a requirement. That's science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Those 4 things are applied sciences and applied mathematics, and they allow kids, young people, to engage in learning. So you see this, look, I'll show you. See this light pole right here, these lights, this building, all this entire shop? Yeah, so you see these, I got cut off there. You see all this shopping center, everything? Young people now are going to engage in that kind of learning, and they can decide exactly where their need is, what they're about, how they can apply the things, as opposed to just sitting in the classroom. All right, so that's number 4A. Now 4B, in the same breath, is getting rid of standardized tests. We're removing standardized tests because we're removing teachers who just simply teach for the test. I can't tell you how frustrating it is as an educator to be around teachers who are constantly just reminding kids, oh, you got a standard, you got a test coming up, you got to get ready for the test. And essentially what they're saying is, oh, because if you do well on the test, that means I get to keep my job and it looks good on the numbers and district, and all those folks look at are just numbers and stuff like that. So because of that, I will remove standardized tests to make it so they're optional based upon certain industries. Now, what I will say when it comes to standardized tests, let's say somebody wants to be a doctor and it needs to be an exact precision way of doing things, there's no other answer. Okay, something like that, based upon the situation, but I wouldn't just require everybody to take a standardized test. That is completely wrong approach. All right. And finally, number 5, no more summer vacation. Stop it. The summer vacation idea is an absolute tragedy. I have an article, just look my name up and type in the words how summer vacation is ruining kids and ruining the education system. I wrote about it. I'm fortunate enough to teach at a school that's actually year-round. So, I personally like that concept, because when it comes time to preparing these young people for jobs, you don't have you're not going to find a position, you're not going to have the luxury of taking 3 months off of learning, which is what we're kind of saying is okay when we talk about summer vacation. So just to recap, top five Tuesday, top 5 things I would do, top 5 moves I would make if I was a politician. Number 1, I'd make youth sports a requirement. Number 2, I would higher pay. I would make sure the pay is higher for teachers, coaches, and educators. Number 3, I would make sure teachers, coaches, and educators are all entrepreneurs. Number 4A and 4B, make STEM curriculum a requirement and remove standardized tests. And number 5, no more summer vacation. Like I said, I'll dive deeper into all that in about an hour or so here on the live stream. The main website to check out to dive deeper into everything I'm doing, it's makeyourmove.com. That's MakeYamove.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. As one, Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.